In this tutorial, we will get a first look at our sample user story and the accompanying use cases that we will use as a teaching tool to learn about Jakarta JEE8 web development. We will create a relational database of charities and non-profit organizations for a specific country and language and region. We will also create a web application that allows us to create, feed, update, or delete charities in this database. This online web application will allow us to administer the database of charities and nonprofits for this specific country, language, and region. Now, throughout this whole process, we will learn about the most often used components of the Jakarta JEE8 web development framework for both the presentation layer, the business tier or middleware layer, and the back-end database layer of the framework. This is also known as full-stack web development. As an expatriate living abroad, I want to create an online database of all charities or nonprofits that operate in my home. Our example project will allow charities to register with our online database and send us their official tax registration forms. Charities should be able to register their information online and provide attached files such as nonprofit tax registration status and address details. Our specific example will have to use internationalization and localization for specific language groups and regions. Because we handle sensitive information, our example project will have to be really secure. Looking at our actionable items, we will have to design a database that conforms to our user story. We are going to build this database with SQL scripts. And then the main one is we're going to build a Jakarta JEE8 web application to allow the administration of the charity database. Now some more high-level questions. First, what does our database structure look like? And then secondly, and more importantly, what JEE8 components will we use in the presentation tier, the middle tier, and the back end of our web application? Here is the high-level answer to what does our database structure look like. This is the starting entity relationship template. We see we have the charity categories, charity program, and their relationships. Then we have the extension into the charity associate and charity associate address and types. And we see obviously we're going to need super users and admin users in our database as well. For now, let's consider these two diagrams as high-level advisory database diagrams. Here is the answer to what JEE8 components we will use. We see in the presentation tier, we have the client browser, we have traditional HTML style sheets and JavaScript. We are going to look at some jQuery and Bootstrap. Then down to the middle tier, we are using the Tomcat 9 server. We are going to be looking at JSP, JSTL, and expression language, servlets, filters, session. We will also be looking at Spring JPA Hibernate, Spring REST, Spring SOAP, and Spring Security. And finally, down in the back end, we will be using the MariaDB SQL database. And this concludes this introduction section. I will see you in the next tutorial.